we got a test coming up this week, starting on the Elevation Training Mask 2.0. I wanted to do some really cool stuff with it, besides just see if it simulates elevation or not. So I have put together a full test that's going to run for 6 weeks. And this week, or last week, I had ordered a couple of things that I wanted to use in this test that would make this test a lot more fun and a lot more informative. Something I haven't seen on any other test for the Elevation Training Mask on YouTube. Haven't seen it. So I decided I really wanted to make this as in-depth as possible. There's a lot of measurements that I can get so that we can see what it does, what it doesn't do, and everything in between. So I have got a treat for you guys, and I have to go ahead and tell you, I cheated. I was getting ready to go to school this morning, and the package arrived, so I went ahead and opened it. But I repackaged it so that you guys could enjoy what I enjoyed this morning. It was really fun. I was like, I'm going to be late for school. I didn't care. I wanted to see what I had ordered. Excuse me. So, in this box is the thing that I was waiting for to start this test, and it will test 11 different measurements. The total measurements in this test will be 18 measurements that I'm taking throughout the next 6 weeks. But this device that I ordered will measure 11 of those. So makes it a lot easier that I don't have to measure all those by myself. So for the reveal, this will be for the kids. They love it. I have to make sure I'm watching them though, because man, when these things pop, they're really loud. They scare the life out of you. All right. Now, I don't want to show you what this is yet, because I'll show you this a little bit later. This is for something else. People who have a training mask, you know what that is. You don't know what kind it is, but you know what it is. So here's the device that I've been waiting for. I'll pull this out, put the box down. It says, if I'm saying it right, Abion Body Composition Smart Scale. Oh my God. Let's open it up and see what it looks like. Like I said, I already opened it, so the styrofoam's gone. But the reveal for you guys. Plastic off. Now, as I said, I cheated. So when I got home, I went ahead and set my phone up, put the app on my phone, and I already put the batteries in the scale, and I've already did the initial baseline measurements. All I had to do was stand on the scale on the bioimpedance scanners that are right here, these 4 buttons. So I stand on it barefooted, and I calibrated it to my phone, and so it took its measurements, and I'll show you on my phone in just a second. So this scale is like the coolest scale I've ever seen. I'm sure there's other ones out there, but for this test, it's going to be amazing. Now, for the measurements on my phone, and some of these measurements, people will like, don't you work out a lot? Or are you an athlete? No, I am not an athlete. I want to be one. And that is in my bio on the channel about everything I want to do in the next couple of years. But some of these measurements you will see seem a little high for somebody who works out every day. But I've only been working out since April of 2018, this year. So that is why some of these measurements are kind of high, such as the BMI and things like that. Because I have not been working out for that long. And to find out why, I could post that in a future video. But for this video right now, this is just to reveal the components that I had ordered And my phone just went off, so I gotta open it back up. There we go. So the stuff I ordered for the test, that's all this video is for right now. And showing baseline measurements. So here are my numbers. There we go. Get a good look at those. All right. So that is my baseline numbers. That's where I'm starting at with those 11 measurements. The other measurements that I have written down, which I will consolidate those onto one sheet of paper so that we can get a picture of those all together, so it's not like it's on this page, it's on that page, to make it less confusing. I'm probably going to get a white dry erase board so that I can write all these down, all the measurements, and keep a running tally of these measurements every week to show on the board so that it's really easy to see. I ain't got to show you my phone every time. I can just show you, hey, here's the new numbers. So I am really excited about this test. I hope you guys are excited about this test. This is going to be really fun. And this is just the first one. This is just the first test I have ever done on this channel. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of work. There's going to be a lot of sweating involved. But if you follow along and you subscribe, you can like the videos, you can comment. Any questions you have, leave them down at the bottom. This is going to be an exciting trip. This is the first one of many. So you guys have a great, wonderful rest of your day. And I have to get a couple more measurements, such as I'm doing a 1 mile walk for the cardiovascular endurance and going to do a heart rate test immediately after that. That is another one of the measurements that I'm going to get done today and add to this video. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. This is part 2 of the video for today. And I am going to open this. I didn't cheat on this one. I haven't opened it yet. And it is going to replace this old sleeve for the Training Mask 2.0. Going to take this off. This is the headband that comes separate. I'm so glad this had it on it. And I want to say for a quick second, I had a really good friend of mine give me this training mask. I haven't bought it. So the whole reason I'm doing all these tests is I was debating on buying it and if it would work or not. So I didn't know. And so I was like, well, I want to find out if this thing works, if it does what people says it'll do. But I don't know. That's my phone. Got to get my camera straight. I'm having technical difficulties. Are you staying there? All right. All right. So this sleeve, the worst part of it is right here on these edges where the head strap was attached to. But as I was saying before my phone started to fall, is a friend of mine that I was going to school with in one particular class. I was talking to him. He works at a gym and he knows a lot about fitness and things like that. So I was like, man, I don't know if I should get it. I've done a lot of research. My cardio sucks. I've said before in some of my earlier videos, I am not a cardio king. I'm not somebody who could ride for 20 some miles or do a marathon. Those things would be fun. I would love to do that in the future. And if my body can get there in a healthy way without killing myself, then I definitely would love to run marathons and triathlons, all that kind of crazy stuff, because I'm that kind of crazy. But I can't right now. My cardio is horrible. So I had a question. I was like, well, will this help improve my cardio? That's one of the things that got me started thinking about doing this test. So I was talking to my friend at school, and he says, hey, I got one that I haven't used for 1.5 years. If you would like it, I'll get it for you. And so he brought it to me, and I was like, dude, that's awesome. I appreciate it. I didn't know he gave it to me. I thought he was just going to let me use it, enjoy it for a little bit, clean it up, and then give it back to him and be like, hey, thank you for letting me use the mask. I've decided, yes, I'll buy it, or no, I won't buy it, or whatever. And so as I was texting him later that day about when I was washing the mask when I got it from him, and the conversation went that he said, you can have it. Like, it's yours. I gave it to you. And it blew me away. And this mask is very expensive in my realm of the money that I have, the money that I'm able to afford to spend on things. This was unattainable. It was something I couldn't afford. And so that's why I was like, if I got enough money, is it something I'd want to buy? So I know a lot of you guys out there have plenty of money to buy things. Some of you are probably in the same boat that I'm in. I'm going to school, so my income is very limited. And so I will now change the sleeve out so that you guys can see how that works. I don't even know how to do it myself, which I've taken it apart, so it should be pretty simple. So we're going to do that. Switch out the new sleeve because we don't know what kind of sleeve I bought yet. Give me a little peek of the barcode. Woo! Oh, there it goes. It's a little blurry. Haha. Just having fun with you. All right. So, old mask, old sleeve. You've been good. You served a really great purpose, but your time has come. So, these little pieces on here, these vents, that will be talked about later on in another video or maybe later in this video. But for this test that I'm doing, the 6-week test, so that I can make this easier for you guys to see and easier for me to remember what the heck they mean, I'm going to number these so that we can tell what level of elevation I got the mask set at. So try to take these off really easy without the little clear pieces popping out, getting on the floor like it did when I took it apart to clean it. All right, so we'll just set that to the side at first. And we are going to open this box. Got to get in the camera view so I can see. I got it up so you guys can see me. And now you can't see my workspace. All right, so there we go. You can see my old rusty old fan. I got 2 fans because it gets hot in this garage. About to pull my cord out. All right, so we are going to open this bad boy. I didn't even need a knife. Tape was not sticking well. All right, so for the reveal, what kind do you think I got? Let's just say the hint is I've been watching Marvel since the very first movie came out. And I got the one that looks like Iron Man. It's not called Iron Man because it's not sponsored by Marvel. It is called Red Gold. And if you look online, it says like Red Iron. Either way. So now I have a new sleeve I am going to put onto the new mask. So the paper that comes with it, I'll put that to the side. I want to make sure you guys can see me doing this here. So open the box up. Take the sleeve out, box over there. All right. Take that off there. Let's pop these off, like I said, nice and easy. Let's make sure I don't lose anything. Set these where they're supposed to go. Now what these caps that are on here right now are the lowest elevation. Because while I have had this mask for a little bit to get to play with it, I have used it a very, very tiny bit. Doing like jogging in place for 5 minutes, whatever, getting acclimated to the mask. So I didn't die the first time I used it. Because if you look online, it tells you how to acclimate yourself and everything. I didn't do it like it said, but I walked around the house, was breathing through it, and things like that. So to each their own, how they decide prepared to use the mask. All right, so if we look at this and we look at that, looks like the webbing on this, the way it's sewn together, and you see this one's just open. It could be just from the years of it being on top of the mask there. But this sleeve is a lot tighter. See how it's got that little fold in it? And this one is just rounded. And the holes seem to look a little bit smaller. So I would say they're probably stretched. So let's see how this thing goes on here. Let's see if this thing goes on as easy as I would want it to. Make sure you guys can see me installing this here. I will put this one on first. Just want to make sure I get it good. That way the cap can pop back on and not fall off. Alright, so that's the first one. It snapped. Alright, so we got the first one. We will go for cap number 2. Seems with this being a new mask, these holes being a little bit small, which is good because, you know, that way they fit tight around these filters here. Just press it down so that it can get down to that little groove. So we press the cap in, it clicks in. See, that one weren't as loud. The cloth is like right up to it. All right, last one. Here we go. All right. Oh, don't come out of there. Oh, there's the old sleeve. These holes for the side are really small. Like, they are definitely like, they're the size of that. See that inner ring right there? That's how big the hole was. So I had to stretch it to get it to go around. All right. Last cap to go on. All right, let's put the sleeve on for the head. I have a pretty big head, so putting it at its like the least amount of adjustment possible. That's how I had it before, and it seemed to fit pretty good that way. Alright, so I got that one, and I don't know exactly where this thing's supposed to go. Let me put it on, and we'll get it adjusted. Let's see, take a look at it. Right there. It's a little snug, for sure. What do you think? Let's see. There we go. I think it looks pretty cool. I like it. So, that sleeve I had, it was a medium. This sleeve is also a medium. Since this one is fresh out of the pack, never been used, it is, I just dropped the brand new mask. It is really snug. So it's definitely a lot tighter than the old one. So this is going to be our little tool that we will be testing. It looks so much better than the original. It's now Thursday. I didn't get a chance to do my walk yesterday. Just going to use the backyard. Going to use my watch to track a mile so that we can get the Rockport 1 mile fitness walking test, so that we can use the walking test as our baseline to get the VO2 max, just to check our cardiovascular endurance. And that is going to be one of the tests that I do every week to see if the VO2 max increases and what the heart rate will be as soon as I get done doing the walk. See how more efficient that my lungs and heart get as we go through this test on the mask. All right, so we're going to get right to it. Well, another thing is I'm going to check my heart rate with an app that I got on my phone, and I also check it with my watch, and we'll get the average of both. So here we go. And we're also tracking the time. And go. What's up, guys? So the camera I was using on my phone, the data got full, and so it only recorded a little more than 6 minutes of the walk. But I wrote everything down when I got done on the Rockport 1 mile fitness walking test. The time was 19.75 minutes. My heart rate, like I said, I used two different things to measure with. I used my watch and I used the app on my phone, and I took the average of those two, and it was heart rate was 113 beats per minute, and the VO2 max was 26.2, and the classification for that is very poor. That's the measurements on that, and I'll show you that in just a second. So that's something we already knew, is that my cardio was poor. So I'm gonna set you down here so you can see the next test we're fixing to do. But I'm gonna show you the card, and so that's the figures for that. So the next test that I'm doing is a baseline test, which I'm calling the Progressive Elevation Training Advantage Test. So this is going to set a baseline of how many sets of the power cardio that I can do, which will probably be what the minimum is for beginners, which is 2 sets. So we'll just see how far I can get on that. And so it's just a matter to see how much I can do before I get exhausted. And going for a RPE max, but if it's not max, then we'll let you know what the RPE is, which would be the rate of perceived exertion. And the rating system we're using is from 1 to 10. 1 being easiest, 10 being the hardest. And the exercises that I'll be doing is the jump squat, power push-up, step-up jump, 1-arm dumbbell snatch, and a power lunge. So we're going to do those in succession for 20 seconds at a time, take a 20-second break, and then do the next exercise for 20 seconds. So off and on for 20 seconds until I've done 2 sets. So that's how that's going to go. And I'm going to just set you down here in my tripod stand, and then you guys can see this exercise. As I said, this is the baseline exercise. All right. And this is my timer for the 20-second activity, 20-second break. And I'll just carry that around with me, and every time I get to 20 seconds, I'll just reset it. All right, so here we go. Do the jump squats first. It's 20 seconds. Let's rest for 20 seconds. Adjust the camera a little bit. Just too low. Alright, so 20-second rest. And then we're going to do power push-ups. I'm going to hit this 20 seconds. Probably won't be too many of these, so I've never even done these. Alright, so let's do power push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4. 20-second break. And the next one's the step up jump. This one's aggravating. Let's see. Dumbbell snatch. Hey guys, so I had another data issue with my phone. I gotta get this thing figured out. It keeps getting too full of data when it's trying to video. Anyway, so I did finish the baseline test, and I got the card right here to show what the figures were. So I did 3 sets, and I got RPE 8, so it was between really close to RPE 8 or 9. But I was pretty tired, so I decided to stop. Being it was just a baseline test, I was pretty exhausted. So that is the figures for that, and I have a card I've almost finished filling out of what my exercise routine with the test included per week will be. And so these exercises won't be videoed every day for you to have to watch me go through my poor ability to do power cardio, because I know I'm not a graceful person, and those exercises probably look pretty horrible. Uh, but imagine trying to teach a rhino to do ballet. That's what I look like doing cardio. um, so the next thing to do is to start training with the mask. And so I'll probably do a really quick video of just doing one round, one set of the power cardio with the mask on, just for video purposes. And then I will train with it every week, and at the end of the week I will do a test and just do small clips of the exercises instead of making you watch a whole entire video of me just exercising, so that you guys can stay tuned in and stay up to date of how this test is going. So that's all the numbers that we're going to be counting. And I think it comes up to, it was 18, but with my scale reading extra measurements, I think it's around 19 or 20 measurements altogether. So just stay tuned, subscribe, like the content. If you have any suggestions on media to as far as recording and editing, I would very well appreciate that. And any comments on how to perform those exercises better would be very appreciated for constructive criticism. And until next time, we'll see you guys next week. And I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. You have a wonderful rest of your day.